DeFazio, yes, we have one of those craft breweries too on one of our Brownfield site, so we can be looking for good things. I want to thank my friend and colleague, Representative Katko, and Subcommittee Chairman Graves, as well as Ranking Member Napolitano and Ranking Member DeFazio for their support in this important bipartisan legislation. Today's markup is an important opportunity for this committee to work in a bipartisan way to help communities across the country create good-paying jobs and turn blighted, contaminated properties into public assets. Originally authorized in 2002, the EPA Brownfields program empowers states, communities, and private businesses to assess, clean up, and revitalize brownfield sites. Since the program's original authority expired in 2006, various private sector companies, local officials, and environmental advocates have suggested changes to further our shared goal of revitalizing these properties. That's why Mr. Katko and I reintroduced the Brownfields Reauthorization Act, legislation to authorize the EPA's Brownfields program at $200 million with an additional $50 million for the state response program annually through 2022. I think it's important to note that our bill makes several important improvements to this program, which has proven success. To encourage public-private partnerships, our bill expands eligibility to brownfield grants to certain nonprofits, limited liability partnerships, and community development entities. This expansion includes governments that acquired brownfields prior to 2002, so long as they did not cause or contribute to contamination. Our bill also creates multipurpose grants, which I know in my district have been incredibly important, to fund properties at all stages from start to finish, including inventory, assessment, planning, and remediation. These grants will streamline the process to provide greater certainty of long-term project funding. Redeveloping brownfield sites is one of the best investments we can make in local economies. This has proven to be the case in cities and towns throughout my congressional district in Connecticut, from Waterbury to New Milford to Torrington to Meriden. According to a 2007 study, for every acre of brownfield redevelopment, you create approximately 10 jobs. I want to repeat that. For every acre of brownfields redevelopment, 10 jobs are created. On average, as my friend, the subcommittee chairman Graves noted, for every dollar of federal investment in this program, an additional $18 is leveraged in private and state development. That is an incredible return on investment. This bipartisan bill reflects the input from citizens, environmental advocates, business groups, states, local communities. It is exactly the sort of common sense work that our voters sent us to Washington to do. Passing the Brownfields Authorization Act will empower communities that we represent to turn blighted properties into hubs of economic activity and provide space for outdoor recreation. Quite simply, brownfields represent the ultimate opportunity to recycle a precious resource, land. With over 450,000 brownfield sites across the country, advancing this legislation will demonstrate our shared commitment to creating jobs and strengthening the economies in the communities we represent. Again, I want to thank Representatives Katko and Graves and their staff on both sides of the aisle for hard work on bringing this bill forward today. I want to thank the chairman and the ranking member, and I urge my colleagues to support this important legislation. Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank the gentlelady. With that, recognize Mr. Katko.